I am so happy to see you here. Today I have my friend and former coworker and teammate, Hope Linker.
Hi.
Hey, she's here to tell us a little bit about her job as a social media VA. I know she's a little bit more than that, but she works with several small business clients, I guess, is that what I should say, and a couple influencers, and she has some things to share with you because I know you're interested in this type of work. So welcome. Hope, can you please tell us about your background and how you got into this type of work?
Yeah, sure. So I studied mass communications in school. I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Mass Communications with like a media advertising track. And so that was all things journalism, marketing, advertising, graphic design, like all sorts of different things. So I feel like it was a very well-rounded career and I loved it. And I actually had a couple unpaid internships in college.
Oh,
One of them was graphic design, one of them was totally focused on social media management and blog management for small businesses in the St. Louis area. And that's where I really like stepped into the role of social media and I absolutely loved it. I never would have thought that I'd end up doing something like this, but that unpaid internship like taught me one, how businesses need help with this and how important it is to grow their business and get their brand in front of more people. And two, I just thought it was fun. So I spent a couple years after college in like a corporate marketing department as the lead social media manager. And then I went to a marketing agency for about a year. And while I was at that marketing agency, I was super intentional about growing my own brand and my own business because my end goal was always to have freedom and be my own boss. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I've had this business for almost 2 years, but I've been a full-time entrepreneur through my own business as of November of last year. So super excited.
but for anyone who missed that, Hope had a full-time job, got
Mhm.
enough clients, quit her agency work, and now works on her own.
Yeah.
And you are not that far out of college compared to some of us. And I am just like, I'm blown away. I think this is so awesome.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
really impress me. You have that tenacity and you have the knowledge of the online world. And I have to ask, did you learn any of this in college?
That is such a good question. I feel like a lot of my knowledge has been a mixture of everything, right? Like it's come from a little bit of the unpaid internships that I did, a little bit from the corporate marketing, a little bit from the marketing agency, a little bit from now running my own business. I've also invested in courses and membership groups and stuff like that. So I feel like I've truly learned a little bit from like all these different places and that's kind of like made me to who I am today. It's not that you need an education or you need, I should say, like a formal education or you need a degree to do something like this. I think it helped me, but I don't believe that you need that in order to be a VA or in order to come up with an online business.
Yeah, and I love what you said because when I graduated from college, it was what, 2003. Everything was just on the verge of going digital. So I date myself, but I really want people to know it's not too late. I mean,
No,
like
no.
there's no college program that I know of. I don't really know this, but that's teaching this formula for online business growth, and you can do it now.
Yeah.
It's never too late because I didn't even really know about it until about um, maybe 6 years ago. And then even then, I had a clients before that, and I wasn't really, there wasn't enough resources about how to use Facebook and whatnot. So I was just winging it and faking it. And then now it's like so easy to learn. So
Yeah, there's so much you can learn
yeah.
just by, like, YouTube videos and, like, free information on the internet. Now that's not to discount, like, paid trainings and paid memberships and stuff like that, but there's so much you can learn, just off of Google when you're just getting started, right?
What is your actual job title? I know I called you a VA, but what is your job title with your clients right now? What do you call yourself?
Yeah, that's a great question because for a lot of my current clients, I am a lot of different things, right? And I am slowly kind of morphing into being more focused just social media, whether that's a social media manager, a social media coach. But to some clients, I'm a graphic designer. Some clients, I'm a social media manager, which that's primarily where I'm at right now. But then for other clients, I do a little bit of email marketing. I do a little bit of blog management. So I will be totally honest and say I'm a little bit all over the place right now. And I think that that's okay, especially when you're like just getting started. I feel like a lot of people talk about the importance of like niching down or niching down, however you say it. And I've talked about that too. But for me, I love variety. So I like one of my clients that I just write their blog. I like my clients that I do social media management for. So a little bit all over the place, but at the same time, I am going to slowly move more towards just social media. And I'm really liking the coaching and the training and the education side of it right now.
Yeah, if anyone, I have the crawler going across right now. Follow Hope on Instagram because she gives really good tips for how to engage an audience for a client and just like good things you should know, especially starting out when you don't know. You don't know what you don't know, and some of Hope's lingo. I mean, seriously, she's good. Just read it and learn from it because it's going to help you, and it's
Yeah.
going to make you look good for a client interview. So,
Yeah.
Hope, tell me a little bit about why you love social media, like maybe more than the blogging part and the email part, because I do talk about how I train my people to be good at everything and know the basics of everything and then specialize. But tell me why you pick social media.
Yeah, that's a good question. I just think one, social media has always been fun for me. Like it's always been like a creative outlet. There's so many like entertaining people on social media. There's so much like value on social media and it's free, right? So like that's a huge part of it. But another reason why I think it's so important for small business owners to invest in or to at least just pay attention to using the free tools that they have in front of them is because this is where customers are. Like everyone's on their phones. A lot of people are on Facebook, a lot of people are on Instagram, and I feel like if small business owners aren't taking advantage of free tools that they have using social media platforms, they're almost like losing relevancy with their customers because if you're not in front of them, and I mean in front of them on the phone when they're winding down at night and they're checking their phones and stuff like that, you may not be top of mind to them. So that's another reason why I love social media and I love um, just encouraging small business owners to use it to their fullest potential is because that's where they can get customers and that's where they can stay top of mind. Small business owners are always going to need social media managers because they're so busy with all the things that they need to do and they know the value of social media, they know that they should be using it, but they want to outsource it because they just don't have the time to focus on it, or they just don't want to mess with it and they want to focus on all the other things that they're good at in their business. I would say a lot of it is, especially just running a business, it's like on the job training. Like there's so many things that you just figure out as you go. And when you say you want to start a business or you say you want to become a virtual assistant, you may know like what to do for clients and you may know what services that you need to offer and maybe you know what pricing structure you want to create. But there are so many things that come up, in the midst of all of that that you're like, oh, I never thought of this. I need to figure out how to do this. And that's where, like, free information on the internet, like we talked about, that's where that comes in. That's where, like, other business courses and business trainings and stuff like that come in. So there's been so much on the job training that, yeah, there's just so much that you have to figure out along the way.
I really want people to know that, like, we don't know it all. I don't know everything. You don't know everything. We just might be a few more steps ahead of people, but it is forever changing and you could do it. You could definitely do it and learn on the way. And that's usually my mantra is just say yes and figure it out. And then
Totally.
don't charge for how long it took you.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about social media and like the importance of social media, but word of mouth and referrals are still super super important. So that just goes to show, do a great job with all of your clients and really like give them your all and help them get results, and that could result in extra clients from there and lifetime clients.
Exactly. I love that advice. I tell my girls the same thing. Just
Yeah.
focus on that one. Don't worry about the numbers. Focus on that one.
I would say I never had a clue that social media would be like ever changing every single day. There's always something new to learn. So I feel like if you want to be a social media manager, you need to just make a point to be constantly researching like new tools, new strategies, like the new features on Instagram. Like there's been a lot of new features on Instagram specifically lately. So make it your kind of mission to always stay up to date on that kind of stuff. If you want to do this and you want to be a VA or you want to create any sort of business for yourself, you have to have a strong purpose. You have
Mhm.
to have a strong why that like gets you through those hard times. Cause we've talked before, Emily, like I'll have one day where I'm like, this is great. I feel awesome. I feel smart. I feel creative. And then the next day I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like I don't know anything. So I feel like having a strong purpose from
Mhm.
the beginning is so important.
I'm so glad you said that because I think a lot of girls in our group and guys too, but they're all kind of wondering like, could I do this? Can I do this? And we all have that doubt, and I think that's good for us to know. We all kind of shift around in that realm of like, are we the imposter syndrome, like you said? Like, are we the one that
Yeah,
should be doing this? But honestly, what I tell them is business owners need help. It's just
totally.
simple. Go out and help them and come from that place and be willing to get them results, like you said, and it will be good. But I think
Yeah.
everyone at every level suffers this almost.
I will say, like, people tell me all the time, like, "How do you work from home? How do you get anything done and not just wanna, like, sit on the couch all day?" And my response to that is usually like, "I have clients that count on me, and that's enough to keep me on track." That's not to say I never have bad days and I don't have days where I'm, like, unproductive, like, that happens. It is hard to work from home, and I think going to a coffee shop every now and then, or, like, if you live in a bigger city, going to like a co-working space can be so helpful. So I would say that, and then oh my gosh, I don't know.
Oh,
Um,
real quick question: do you
yeah.
do your hair and makeup every day when you're at home?
Oh no, you know that.
I just wanted to set it real for us. Like
Yeah,
we control our schedule, and like you've had a couple trips and you've gotten to travel, so you'd probably just front load your work, get your work done, and then you can go have a long weekend for a friend's wedding or something. So
right.
I don't know. I know we're talking about the pitfalls, but I had to
Yeah.
bring that up.
No, that's a good question, and, like, I don't look like this every day. Yesterday, I had a hat on with, like, a braid and no makeup. It does sometimes make me feel a little bit better when I, do a little something, right? Doesn't have to be glamorous, but, yeah, some days I have days where I'm like, "I'm super busy today, and I'd rather have that 1 hour to work than to get ready and look nice and all that kinda stuff."
I think
So, it's
we're saying that
about
because we had Monday morning meetings, so we've seen the best of both of us.
yeah, yeah, it's totally a balance. But as far as, like, an actual pitfall as far as working with clients goes, I would say sometimes it can be tough working around, someone else's schedule, and you can set your business up in a way where you what's the right way to word this? You
Bound-
can set this yeah, totally, totally. And you can set it up in a way where you from the beginning, if you're working with a new client, from the beginning in the contract, in the discussion, you really set expectations for like these are the time frames, like I need feedback within 7 days. If 3 calls are canceled, you forfeit that one. Just stuff like that. Like those are just examples, but I think it's so important to set boundaries and expectations from the beginning. And that shows that you take it seriously as a business owner. And if you take your time and your schedule and all of that kind of stuff seriously, your clients will take it seriously as well. If you're just getting started, or maybe you have been working at this for a while, my big piece of advice is always to really work on developing your personal brand through business social media profiles. Like, use a business profile on Facebook, use a business profile on Instagram. And this goes along with the setting expectations and contracts and all that kind of stuff too. Like, show that you're taking it seriously, and other people will take it seriously as well. So I think a big thing that helped me was really developing my personal brand, and sharing my expertise and sharing free value, and consistently doing that over time. And also over time, people will learn to trust you. People will start to think of you as the go-to for what they need. So I would say to really be super consistent with your personal brand, and show that you're running a business and that you're serious about it, and other people will take it seriously too.
Yeah, I agree. I made that mistake. I spent 5 years in my office just slaving for clients. And then April, I'm like, oh man, I really should get my Instagram started. Even though I tell my clients what to do, I wasn't doing it for myself. So I wish I would have taken that step. People are going to look you up. They're going to see if you have a website, a Facebook, an Instagram. They're not going to hire you to do an Instagram if you don't have an Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. And that doesn't mean you have to have 10,000 followers on Instagram, doesn't mean you have to do Facebook Lives every single day, but have a presence and take it seriously. Again, and other people will take you seriously as well. You do have to put your face out there and put your voice out there, so people build a relationship with you, and they can learn to trust you because they connect with faces and voices and all that kind of stuff.
So I just really, really love that you are a multi-passionate woman like I am, that you're into other things. Like we don't have to, follow some cookie cutter formula with what we do and what we like. I know for me, if I did Pinterest all day for 8 different clients, I would hate it. And
Yeah.
I love that you are in the same boat with me. And I just find that super encouraging. I love that you are in your 20s and you're an entrepreneur working for yourself. And I just think that you're going to be such an inspiration for so many people, um, and help them not have the fear to just get started. So
Right.
thank you so much for being on here. So if anyone wants to connect with Hope, follow her on social media, like I said, and I'm sure we'll be hearing more from you soon. And I can't thank you enough for coming in our group.
Well, thank you for having me. This was fun, and I hope you take away some nuggets from it, or there's a few good tips for you in here somewhere.